Alright, page 3, synthetic division. Keep in mind that the test part 1 is only through 22. Test part 2 picks up on the rest. So for the first one, again, synthetic division, I get negative 2 into my coefficients. And it should work here. If it doesn't work, then you did something wrong, because I'm telling you that x plus 2 is a factor, which means right away I should put x plus 2 in here and negative 2 as my 0. Now, negative 2 works, and it leaves me with, again, I pulled basically an x out of x cubed, so this is my remainder constant x squared, so I can rewrite this as 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. I'm setting this equal to 0, which means I'm factoring this. And we know for sure 2x and x go in there. We know for sure it's 3 and 1. Whether it's one way or the other, we have to check. I know the answer, so I'm just going to make it easy here, because negative 1 and negative 6 gives me negative 7. Now I'm going to write those here. I'm asking for the factors and the zeros, so don't forget to write those factors in the blank. Now, this of course is 3. When I set this equals 0, I'd add 1 and divide by 2 to get 1/2. We've talked on the other pages on how to do that. Here, I have to do it twice. It does not matter which one you do first. It really doesn't. Negative 9, negative 23, negative 12. But you should, again, get a 0 here, or you did something wrong in your multiplication. And the first thing I would say is, did you bring down the 1? If you put a 3 here, it throws everything off. So I get 6, 9, and I get 0. Now, again, this is remainder number x squared, x cubed. If I were to do this again and start all over at negative 4, I'm going to get another x cubed function that I cannot factor. So I want to take what I have and just keep going. You want to do this, you need to do this, because it gets you down to an x squared function that we can work with really easily. In fact, x squared plus 2x plus 1 is about as easy as you can possibly factor. Plus 1 plus 1. So, write the ones given, write the ones you got, and then fill in the zeros. Negative 1 is obviously a double root. If I asked you to graph this, it would bounce off there. Not asking you to graph it here. Okay? Alright, next problems. Down on number 23, and again, the first test covers through 22. The second test, so we're taking this Wednesday and Thursday, starts on 23 and goes through the end. Now for these, you're going to have to use the rational root theorem, which says take the factors of this, plus or minus, and divide it by the factors of this. Well, it just so happens that that's a 1. Now I want to give you a warning, put a little star by this. There's a missing term here. If I have one on the review, there's probably going to be one on the real test. So let's synthetically divide 1, 0, negative 3, and 2. Now here's the thing, you would try 1, then negative 1, then 2, then negative 2 to find the one that works. I am going to only just show you the one that does work so that I can save some time here. Left with x squared plus x minus 2. You should get a 0 there, or else it's not a factor. And I can factor that into x and x, 2 and 1, plus and minus. So I get 1, because I found that here, and then I get negative 2 and 1 again. Those are my factors. Don't forget to label and list, the very first one that you did as well. Okay? Here, I'm going to do again plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3 over the factors of that too. So plus or minus 1/3 could be a possibility. And, 1/2 and plus or minus 3/2. Those are all our possibilities. And again, to save time, I don't know why, but 1 goes into both of these real easy. It's not going to always be that easy. I get 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. No negative signs in there. Factor that to 2x and x. Be careful here, because if you put 3 here and 1 here and you make a minus 1, it does add up to get 5, but that'll give you a negative 3 here. So 3 goes here and 1 goes here so that they can both be plus. 3 and 2 would give me the 5. And I get 1, negative 1 from this one, and this would be negative 3 over 2. Just like we said, that was a possibility, and that helps us there. Okay? 25, again the possibilities are plus or minus 1, 3, 5, 15. I am not going to test you on this in terms of the possibilities, but it wouldn't hurt for you to have them there so that I know you know what you're talking about. When I plug in 1, I get 24 as a remainder, it doesn't work. When I plug in -1, I get 12 as a remainder, which doesn't work. When I plug in 3, that doesn't work either, but when I plug in -3, it does. So I'm just giving you the answer here. And I get x squared plus 5, because again this is remainder, constant x squared. When I set that equal to 0, I minus 5 to both sides, and then I square root it. And remember, this is square root of 5 and square root of -1, which is I. So I get x equals -3, because I had that here, and plus or minus I square roots of 5. There are 3 answers, and that's an x cubed. Okay. Moving on to the next page, we have one that is a 4th degree, which means you're going to have to find 2 of them. Okay. With that being said, the factors are plus or minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And then I also have to divide the factors of 12, all of these factors, by 2. So I get plus or minus 1/2, plus or minus 2/2, which is 1, we already have that, plus or minus 3/2, plus or minus 4/2, which is 2, we already have that, plus or minus 6/2, which is 3, we already have that, plus or minus 12/2, which is 6, we already have that. So there's all my possibilities. Now again, I could go through and I would try 1, and then -1, and then 2, and 2 is the first one that works. 1 and -1 did not. So in this case, I'm going to show you what's going on here. Drop it low, just multiply and add, by now you should have a really good hold of this. And I get a 0. And again, that gives me an x cubed function. So there's one of my answers right away, I'm going to write it down. I took 2 out, it didn't work. Now, 2 could work again, but I'm here to tell you it doesn't, so -2 is the next one. And I'm left with my x squared function from there, which I can factor 2x and x, 3 and 1 minus minus to give me -6 and -1 to give me -7 there, and I get -2 because I found that to work, and I get 3 and I get 1/2, and again all of these were within our sets of possibilities. Okay? Alright, so down below we're going to talk about writing the polynomial in standard form. Some of you struggle with this on your quiz. The first thing is, show the factors. The factors are x minus a. If I'm giving you a, this is x minus -1, x minus -2, and x minus 0, which are better known as x plus 1, x plus 2, and just x. So, FOIL that out first. I get x squared plus 2x plus 1x plus 2. And now, from there you could distribute the x, but I think it'd be easier to just simplify it first and then distribute the x into all of the terms. And my answer is right in front of you. Okay. 28, same kind of thing, x minus 5, x minus -5, and x minus 2. And the beauty thing here is if you have opposites, there's stuff that's going to cancel. X squared, -5x and +5x cancel each other out, minus 25. And now it is again a very simple FOIL problem. X cubed minus 2x squared minus 25x plus 50. I want you to write it in standard form, but if you don't, you're not going to, oh, it does say write it in standard form right there. So if you had these two switched order, just fix them up when you rewrite it. When you look at 29, remember it says right here, remember, you may need to find additional roots. I see a square root, I should also have its opposite. I see an I on number 30, so I should also have its opposite. And now I go to write my roots. And the roots are just x minus -2, so plus, x minus square root of 5, and x plus square root of 5. Same thing over here, x minus 4, x minus 3i, x minus -3i, and I just start foiling things through. And again, if I see opposites, I want to FOIL those first because it's just easier. I get x squared, negative square root of 5x, positive square root of 5x, they cancel each other out, minus Square root of 25, as you multiply what's in with what's in, which just is, by the way, 5. And I start foiling it out, and I'm going to write it in standard form instead of just rewriting it. There's my answer there. Next problem, again, I'm going to FOIL out here, so if x minus 4 times x squared, negative 3xi, positive 3xi cancel each other out, so minus 9i squared. I squared should trigger something right away. I squared is negative 1, so this becomes negative 9 times negative 1, which gives me x minus 4 times x squared minus negative is positive 9. Again, FOIL it out. And that's it. You do not need to do number 31. We did not do it in our notes. You're not going to do it on the test. It won't even be available as an extra credit problem. There is an extra credit problem on here, but that's not it. There is everything. If you have any questions, make sure you come in at lunch. Make sure you're asking them in class while you're working. We expect you to do this well. Have a good day.